As you prepare to drift into sleep, make yourself comfortable. Take a moment to settle into your favorite sleeping position, feeling the weight of your body sink gently into your bed. Let your shoulders relax, releasing any tension you might be holding. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose and let it out slowly through your mouth. With each breath, you can feel yourself becoming more and more relaxed. Now, as you continue to breathe slowly and naturally, let me take you on a peaceful journey through the clouds. On this calm, perfect morning, you find yourself in a serene meadow just as the sun begins to rise. The air is still cool from the night, fresh and invigorating as you breathe it in. Before you stands a beautiful hot air balloon, its envelope a soft shade of blue that matches the brightening sky above. The basket is made of warm, honey-colored wicker, sturdy and inviting. The fabric of the balloon ripples gently in the morning breeze, making a soft, soothing sound like distant waves on a shore. As you approach the balloon, you notice how the first rays of sunlight catch on the woven pattern of the basket, creating intricate shadows that dance across its surface. The basket is lined with soft cushions in calming shades of cream and ivory, promising a comfortable journey through the morning sky. You step carefully into the basket, feeling its gentle give beneath your feet, solid and secure. The wicker creaks softly, a comforting sound that speaks of craftsmanship and safety. The morning air grows warmer as the sun continues its gentle ascent. You feel a slight shift beneath your feet as the balloon begins to rise, so gradually that at first you hardly notice the movement. The departure from the earth is gentle, like being lifted on a peaceful breath. The meadow below begins to slowly recede, the morning dew on the grass sparkling like countless tiny stars as the sunlight catches each drop. As you rise higher, the world below transforms into a beautiful patchwork of colors and textures. Fields become soft squares of green and gold. Forests turn into velvet patches of deep emerald, and roads wind like silk ribbons through the landscape. The morning light paints everything in soft, warm hues, creating a peaceful tableau that stretches out in every direction. The balloon continues its gentle ascent, and you begin to approach the first layer of clouds. They float before you like islands of cotton, their edges gilded by the morning sun. The air becomes cooler and fresher as you rise, carrying the clean, crisp scent of the upper atmosphere. Small wisps of cloud drift past the basket, leaving tiny beads of moisture that catch the light like precious gems. You enter the first cloud bank, and the world transforms around you. The sunlight diffuses through the moisture, creating a gentle, pearly glow that surrounds you. The cloud itself feels like passing through a cool, refreshing mist. Tiny water droplets dance in the air, catching the light and creating miniature rainbows that appear and disappear like magic. The basket continues to creak softly, a steady, grounding sound amidst the ethereal surroundings. As you emerge above the cloud layer, you find yourself in a completely new world. The clouds below now form an endless landscape of rolling hills and valleys, all in pristine white and soft grays. The sun, now higher in the sky, transforms these cloud mountains into a landscape of gold and silver. Shadows play across the surface, creating depths and patterns that shift and change with each passing moment. Higher still, you drift into a realm where the sky above becomes an ever deeper shade of blue. The air here is perfectly still, creating a profound sense of peace and tranquility. Occasionally, you catch glimpses of high-flying birds in the distance, their wings catching the sunlight as they soar effortlessly through the thin air. Their calls reach you as faint, musical notes that seem to echo the serenity of these heights. The balloon finds a gentle current of warm air, and you begin to drift horizontally through this peaceful realm. The movement is so smooth that it feels like floating in a calm sea of air. The wicker basket continues its quiet conversation of creaks and subtle shifts, each sound a reminder of the craftsmanship that keeps you safely aloft in this serene world between earth and sky. Time seems to flow differently up here, moving as slowly and peacefully as the clouds themselves. You notice how the sunlight creates different effects as it plays across the cloud landscape below. Sometimes it catches a cloud at just the right angle, creating a brilliant halo of light that spreads out like a sunburst. Other times, it illuminates the edges of cloud formations, turning them into glowing silver borders around shadows of soft gray. As you drift, you begin to notice the different layers of clouds around you. Below are the thick, substantial clouds that form the main landscape, like a world of snow-covered hills. Above, delicate cirrus clouds streak across the deep blue sky like brush strokes on an endless canvas. These high clouds are so thin they seem almost transparent, yet they catch and scatter the sunlight in beautiful, subtle ways. The basket gently rocks as it encounters a new current of air, the motion as soothing as a cradle. You can feel the subtle changes in temperature as you pass through different layers of the atmosphere. Sometimes a pocket of warm air embraces you like a comfortable blanket, and other times a cool breeze refreshes you with its crisp touch. Far below, occasional breaks in the cloud cover reveal glimpses of the earth, now looking like a distant patchwork quilt. Lakes shimmer like mirrors in the sunlight. Rivers wind like silver threads through the landscape, and forests spread their green canopies across the terrain. These views appear and disappear as the cloud cover shifts, like scenes from a dream that fades in and out of focus. The air at this height carries a unique scent, clean and pure, with a freshness that can only be found above the clouds. Each breath feels refreshing and rejuvenating, filling your lungs with air that seems to hold the very essence of sky and sunlight. The cool moisture from passing clouds mingles with warm currents of air, creating a perfectly balanced atmosphere. As the sun climbs higher, its light begins to create new effects in the cloud world around you. The shadows of the cloud mountains grow shorter, and the overall landscape takes on a brilliant, almost luminous quality. Occasionally, you pass through thin wisps of cloud that separate from the main formations below, feeling their cool, misty touch against your skin before they dissipate into the surrounding air. The balloon continues its peaceful journey, guided by invisible currents in the air. Sometimes you drift in long, lazy circles. Other times you float in a straight line across the cloud sea below. The movement is always gentle, always peaceful, creating a profound sense of harmony with the elements around you. You notice how the clouds below are constantly changing, yet somehow staying the same, like waves on an ocean that perpetually reform themselves into new shapes while maintaining their essential nature. Some clouds build themselves into towering formations that catch the light like crystal mountains, while others spread out in long, flat layers that extend to the horizon. The steady warmth of the sun combines with the gentle motion of the balloon to create a deeply relaxing atmosphere. The quiet creak of the wicker basket has become like a lullaby, its rhythm matching the peaceful swaying of your flight. Each sound and sensation works together to enhance the feeling of perfect tranquility that surrounds you in this place between earth and sky. As you continue to float through this serene realm, you become aware of how the different elements of the experience blend together. The visual beauty of the cloud formations, the physical sensations of warmth and coolness, the subtle sounds of the balloon and the distant birds, the fresh scent of the high atmosphere. Everything combines to create a perfect moment of peace suspended in the quiet sky. The balloon maintains its gentle drift through the atmosphere, moving with the natural flow of air currents. There's no sense of hurry here, no need to be anywhere else or do anything else. This moment, this peaceful journey through the clouds is complete in itself. Each breath brings a deeper sense of relaxation, and each passing cloud adds to the feeling of serene detachment from the world below. Time continues to flow as slowly and smoothly as the clouds themselves. The sun's warmth, the fresh air, and the gentle motion of the balloon all work together to create a profound sense of peace and contentment. Up here, among the clouds and the endless blue sky, you can simply be drifting peacefully through this tranquil realm between earth and heaven. As your journey continues, you may find yourself becoming more and more relaxed, letting go of any remaining tension or thoughts of the world below. The peaceful rhythm of the balloon's movement, the soft creaking of the basket, the endless dance of light and shadow across the clouds, everything comes together to create a perfect lullaby for the senses, guiding you gently toward peaceful rest. The peaceful journey continues as you notice subtle changes in the atmosphere around you. The quality of light begins to shift ever so slightly, taking on warmer golden tones as the sun moves higher in the sky. The cloud formations below have begun a slow, graceful dance, rearranging themselves into new shapes and patterns that seem to tell silent stories across the vast expanse. You drift through a particularly beautiful formation of cirrus clouds, their delicate strands looking like fine silk stretched across the deepening blue of the sky. These clouds are so high and thin that they appear to be made of spun crystal, catching the sunlight and breaking it into countless tiny rainbow fragments that shimmer and fade like precious gems. The wicker basket continues its gentle symphony of creaks and whispers as it responds to the subtle movements of the air. Each sound has become familiar now, a comforting reminder of your safe harbor in this peaceful realm above the earth. The cushions beneath you seem to have molded perfectly to your form, supporting you in complete comfort as you float amongst the clouds. A particularly warm current of air embraces the balloon, carrying with it the faintest scent of sun-warmed earth from far below. This scent mingles with the pure, clean air of the heights, creating an atmosphere that seems to hold memories of both earth and sky. The sensation is deeply comforting, like being wrapped in an invisible blanket of warmth and light. As you drift higher still, you enter a realm where the clouds take on new and fascinating forms. Here, they gather in gentle clusters that resemble islands in a vast azure sea. Each cloud island has its own character, its own way of catching and reflecting the sunlight. Some appear to glow from within, while others create soft shadows that pool like cool water in their hollows. The balloon's shadow occasionally falls across these cloud formations, creating a perfect circle of darker gray that glides silently across the white landscape below. Sometimes this shadow is surrounded by a rainbow-colored halo, a phenomenon known as a glory, creating a magical ring of light that follows your journey through the sky. A gentle cross-current causes the balloon to rotate slowly, offering you a panoramic view of this ethereal world. In one direction, the cloud sea stretches endlessly toward the horizon, where it seems to merge with the sky itself. In another, tower-like formations rise majestically from the main cloud layer, their tops catching the sunlight and turning it to gold. The air at this height has become noticeably thinner, yet it feels incredibly pure and refreshing with each breath. Tiny ice crystals occasionally catch the light as they drift past, creating miniature constellations that appear and disappear in moments. The temperature has dropped slightly, but the sun's warmth keeps you perfectly comfortable as you continue your peaceful ascent. You pass through a layer of particularly dense clouds, and for a few moments, the world becomes a soft, pearly gray in all directions. The moisture in the air leaves tiny droplets on the wicker of the basket, each one reflecting the diffused light like a tiny star. The sound of the wind becomes muffled, creating an atmosphere of profound peace and silence. As you emerge from this cloud layer, you find yourself in a vast chamber of air, with clouds forming walls and towers all around you. The sunlight plays across these formations, creating an ever-changing display of light and shadow. Some clouds appear to have been sculpted by invisible hands into graceful arches and columns, while others billow and flow like slow-motion waterfalls made of light and mist. The balloon finds another gentle thermal current, and you begin to spiral slowly upward. This motion creates a new perspective on the cloud landscape below, as if you're ascending a vast spiral staircase made of air and light. Each turn reveals new details in the endless canvas of sky and cloud that surrounds you. Time continues to flow at its own peaceful pace in this realm above the earth. The sun's position has changed almost imperceptibly, but its light now creates longer shadows across the cloud formations below. These shadows take on purple and blue tints, adding new colors to the predominantly white and gold landscape. You notice that the very highest clouds have begun to take on a slightly different character. These clouds are softer, more ethereal, seeming to exist somewhere between liquid and vapor. They drift past like thoughts made visible, barely disturbing the air as they pass. Their edges glow with an inner light that seems to pulse gently, like the beating of a distant heart. The basket sways with particular gentleness now, having found a perfectly stable current of air. The motion is so subtle that it's more felt than seen, like being rocked in an invisible cradle suspended between heaven and earth. The familiar creaking of the wicker has become even softer, blending harmoniously with the whisper of the wind. Far below, through occasional breaks in the cloud cover, the landscape continues its slow transformation as the sun moves across the sky. Lakes and rivers catch the light differently now, showing new patterns and colors that drift in and out of view as the clouds shift below. The patchwork of fields and forests has taken on warmer tones, creating a gentle contrast with the cool whites and grays of the clouds. The air currents carry you through a particularly beautiful formation of altocumulus clouds, their rounded tops creating a landscape that resembles gentle rolling hills made of pure white silk. These clouds seem close enough to touch, though you know they're still quite distant. Their surfaces are constantly changing, creating endless patterns that appear and dissolve like scenes from a dream. As you continue to drift through this peaceful realm, you become aware of a profound sense of stillness that seems to exist at the heart of all the gentle motion around you. It's as if you've discovered a perfect balance point between movement and rest, between earth and sky, between waking and sleeping. The sunlight has begun to take on the slightly golden quality that suggests afternoon, though time seems to have little meaning in this peaceful place. This light creates new effects in the cloud world around you, turning the white landscape below into shades of cream and honey. Shadows have grown slightly longer, adding depth and dimension to the cloud formations. Your balloon continues its gentle journey, guided by invisible currents in the ever-changing sky. Each moment brings new wonders, yet maintains the deep sense of peace that pervades this realm above the earth. The combination of gentle motion, soft light, and pure air creates a perfect environment for peaceful rest and dreams. As you float serenely through this tranquil world, you may find yourself becoming even more relaxed, letting go of any remaining thoughts or tensions. The peaceful rhythm of the balloon's movement, the soft sounds of the basket, and the endless dance of light and shadow across the clouds continue their gentle lullaby, guiding you toward perfect, calm rest. The afternoon light bathes everything in a warm golden glow that seems to soften the edges of the world. Each passing moment brings subtle changes to the cloudscape below, as if nature herself is gently rearranging her celestial furniture. The steady warmth of the sun continues to embrace you, while cool breezes occasionally drift past, creating a perfect balance of temperatures. A particularly magnificent cloud formation appears on the horizon, rising like a great celestial castle into the deep blue sky. Its towers and turrets catch the light in different ways, creating a natural play of light and shadow that slowly changes as you drift closer. The formation seems to have different chambers and corridors, made entirely of light and vapor, each one more beautiful than the last. Your balloon gently rises on a new thermal current, carrying you alongside this majestic cloud structure. From this angle, you can see how the sunlight penetrates different layers of the cloud, creating pools of golden light within its depths. Small wisps of cloud occasionally break away from the main formation, curling and dancing in the air like ribbons of silk before dissolving into the atmosphere. The wicker basket continues its gentle conversation, each soft creak and whisper becoming part of the peaceful symphony of your journey. These sounds have become so familiar now that their absence would be noticed, like the ticking of a favorite clock or the gentle purring of a contented cat. They provide a soothing rhythm to your drift through the endless sky. As you float past the cloud castle, you enter a vast open space where smaller clouds dot the azure expanse like tiny islands in a celestial sea. Each one is perfectly formed, a miniature masterpiece of nature's artistry. Some are round and fluffy, like cotton balls suspended in the air, while others stretch out in long, elegant streamers that catch the light like strands of pearls. The air at this height carries a different quality now, even fresher and more invigorating than before, if that seems possible. Each breath feels like drinking in pure light, as if the boundary between air and sunshine has somehow dissolved. Small ice crystals dance in the sunbeams that cut through the space around you, creating tiny rainbow refractions that appear and disappear like magical signs. Your shadow on the clouds below has grown longer now, and the glory that surrounds it has taken on warmer hues of gold and amber. This circular rainbow seems to follow you like a guardian spirit, a constant companion on your peaceful journey through the afternoon sky. Sometimes it grows larger or smaller as you pass through different layers of moisture in the air, but it never completely disappears. The balloon has found a particularly stable current, and the movement has become so smooth that it almost feels as if you're standing still, with the clouds being the ones that drift past you. This creates a wonderfully peaceful sensation, as if you found a perfect vantage point from which to observe the ever-changing panorama of the sky. Through occasional breaks in the clouds, you catch glimpses of the world far below. The afternoon light has transformed the landscape into a tapestry of warm colors. Fields appear in shades of honey and amber. Forests have taken on deeper, richer green tones, and bodies of water shimmer like molten gold. These views appear and disappear like precious gems revealed momentarily before being hidden again beneath the cloud cover. A layer of high, thin clouds passes overhead, creating a natural canopy that filters the sunlight into soft, diffused beams. These beams create visible columns of light that stretch from the clouds above to the cloud sea below, like gentle spotlights illuminating the space around you. The air within these beams seems to shimmer and dance with tiny particles of moisture and ice crystals. The temperature has begun to shift ever so slightly as the afternoon progresses, creating new patterns in the air currents around you. Warm and cool layers mix and mingle, causing the clouds to shape themselves into new and fascinating forms. Some begin to develop into tall, column-like structures, while others spread out into thin, lacy sheets that catch the light like delicate silk. Your balloon responds to these changing currents with gentle movements, rising or falling slightly, turning in slow, peaceful rotations that offer constantly changing views of your surroundings. Each movement is smooth and graceful, like a dance performed in perfect harmony with the natural rhythms of the sky. The cloudscape below has begun to take on new textures as the angle of the sun changes. Shadows have grown longer, creating deeper valleys and more pronounced ridges in the cloud formations. These shadows take on subtle tints of purple and blue, adding new colors to the predominantly white and gold landscape that stretches endlessly toward the horizon. You drift through a particularly beautiful cluster of clouds, their edges lit from within by the afternoon sun. The moisture in the air creates a soft halo effect around everything, as if you're viewing the world through a lens of pure light. Tiny droplets of water occasionally brush against your skin, their touch as light and gentle as butterfly wings. The familiar creaking of the basket has grown softer still, becoming almost musical in its rhythm. These sounds blend perfectly with the whisper of the wind and the occasional soft rush of air as you pass through different layers of the atmosphere. Together, they create a natural lullaby that seems to speak of peace and tranquility. Time continues its gentle flow, marked only by the subtle changes in light and shadow that play across the endless canvas of sky and cloud. There is no hurry here, no destination to reach, only the peaceful journey itself, suspended in this perfect moment between earth and heaven. As your journey unfolds, you may feel yourself drifting into an even deeper state of relaxation, releasing any lingering thoughts of the world below. The gentle motion, soothing light, and crisp, pure air create an ideal sanctuary for peaceful dreams, guiding you effortlessly toward perfect rest in this tranquil realm above the earth. The peaceful adventure continues as you notice the sky beginning to transform once again. The golden afternoon light has started to deepen ever so slightly, taking on the rich, warm hues that herald the approach of early evening. The blue above has become more intense, a deeper azure that seems to hold the very essence of sky itself, while the horizon in the distance begins to show the first hints of amber and rose. Your balloon drifts into a region where the clouds have arranged themselves into graceful spirals, like cosmic fingerprints pressed into the canvas of the sky. From your vantage point, you can see how these formations create natural labyrinths, pathways of light and shadow that curl and unfold in endless patterns. The sun, now beginning its gradual descent, casts longer rays that cut across these cloud spirals at gentle angles, creating intricate plays of light that shift and change with every passing moment. The wicker basket continues its gentle symphony of subtle creaks and whispers, the sounds now so familiar that they've become part of the very fabric of your journey. These sounds have taken on a slightly different quality in the changing atmosphere, becoming softer, more resonant, as if the air itself has become a natural amplifier for their soothing tones. Each sound blends perfectly with the soft rush of air that occasionally passes through the weave of the basket. A new current carries you closer to a particularly magnificent cloud formation that resembles a mountain range carved from pure alabaster. Its peaks and valleys have been sculpted by invisible hands into forms of perfect natural beauty, each ridge and hollow catching the light in different ways. The tallest peaks glow with golden fire, while the valleys between hold pools of soft shadow in shades of lavender and pearl. As you drift alongside this cloud mountain, you notice how its surface seems to ripple gently, like water disturbed by a passing breeze. The air has taken on a new quality now, slightly cooler, but still perfectly comfortable, carrying the unique scent that comes with the approaching evening. It's a subtle fragrance, impossible to describe in ordinary terms. Perhaps the very smell of distance and height, of pure sky and fading light. Each breath fills your lungs with this extraordinary air, bringing with it a deepening sense of peace and tranquility. Your balloon finds a gentle thermal that carries you higher still, above even the tallest of the cloud mountains. From this elevated perspective, you can see how the entire cloudscape has begun to transform with the changing light. What was once a sea of white and gold has now become a landscape painted in richer tones. Ivory and cream giving way to amber and rose, with shadows of increasing depth adding dimension and mystery to the scene below. The sun touches the horizon in the far distance, and its light changes dramatically, becoming more directional, more intense in its golden quality. This light streams across the cloud landscape in visible rays, like great celestial spotlights illuminating chosen parts of the vast scene while leaving others in growing shadow. Where these rays touch the clouds, they seem to set them glowing from within, as if each formation has captured a piece of the sun itself. Your journey takes you through a region where the clouds have thinned, allowing you glimpses of the world far below. The landscape is now bathed in the golden light of approaching sunset, transforming ordinary fields and forests into a tapestry of warm color. Rivers and lakes catch the light and hold it, becoming ribbons and pools of liquid gold that wind through the darkening landscape. These views appear and disappear as you drift, like precious scenes from a half-remembered dream. The balloon begins a gentle, almost imperceptible descent, carrying you back toward the main cloud layer. As you approach, you notice how the clouds have begun to take on the colors of the setting sun, first at their edges, which glow with warm gold, then gradually throughout their entire forms, until what was once white has become a landscape of rose and amber, coral and peach. The transformation is so gradual, so perfectly natural, that it seems like the clouds themselves are slowly awakening to their own beauty. You pass through a thin layer of high cirrus clouds, their delicate strands now tinted with the warm colors of sunset. These clouds are so fine that they appear as brush strokes against the deepening blue of the sky, creating natural patterns that no human artist could hope to replicate. The moisture they contain catches the light in unique ways, creating prismatic effects that send tiny rainbow fragments dancing through the air around you. The basket sways with particular gentleness now, having found a perfectly balanced air current. The motion is so subtle that it seems to match the rhythm of peaceful breathing, a natural lullaby that rocks you with infinite care. The familiar creaking has become even softer, blending harmoniously with the whisper of evening air that plays around the edges of your floating haven. As the sun continues its slow descent, the quality of light undergoes a magical transformation. What was golden becomes amber, then copper, then a soft rose that seems to infuse everything with its gentle glow. This light has a different quality than that of midday or afternoon. It's softer, more diffuse, yet somehow more enchanting in its touch. It turns the cloud sea below into a landscape that seems to belong to a realm between reality and dreams. Your balloon drifts into a particularly beautiful formation of alto cumulus clouds, their rounded tops now glowing with sunset colors. From within this cloud formation, the world takes on a magical quality. The light filtered through layers of moisture creates a soft, diffused glow that surrounds you. Occasionally, gaps in the clouds reveal glimpses of the sky beyond, which has begun to deepen toward twilight blue in some areas, while maintaining brilliant sunset hues in others. The temperature continues its gentle fluctuation, creating a perfect balance between the coolness of height and the lingering warmth of the day. These subtle temperature changes create new patterns in the air currents around you, causing the clouds to shape themselves into ever more beautiful formations. Some begin to develop soft, feathery edges that catch the light like strands of silk, while others maintain their more substantial forms, becoming islands of color in the evening sky. Time continues its peaceful flow, measured only by the gradual changes in light and color that play across the endless canvas of the heavens. There is a sense of perfect calmness in this slow transition from day toward evening, a natural rhythm that speaks to something deep within the human spirit. Each moment brings new beauty, yet maintains the profound peace that has characterized your entire journey. As the sun touches the horizon, its final rays stretch across the sky in a spectacular display of color. The clouds catch and reflect these colors, becoming a natural canvas for the most breathtaking sunset imaginable. Layers of rose and gold, amber and crimson spread across the sky, their reflections turning the cloud sea below into a landscape of warmth and light. The beauty is so perfect, so complete in itself, that it creates a sense of profound contentment and peace. Your balloon continues its gentle journey through this transformed world, now moving slightly downward on cooling air currents. This descent is so gradual that it feels like floating on an invisible tide, a natural return toward the earth after your journey through the heavens. Each gentle movement of the basket, each soft creak of the wicker, adds to the sense of peaceful transition as day gives way to evening. The first stars have begun to appear in the deepening blue of the eastern sky, tiny points of light that seem impossibly distant, yet somehow intimate in their gentle twinkling. Their appearance marks another transition in your journey, another natural rhythm in the endless dance of day and night. These stars seem to offer silent companionship as your balloon continues its peaceful drift through the evening sky. As you float among the sunset-colored clouds, you may find yourself feeling perfectly at peace, completely at one with the natural world around you. The combination of gentle motion, changing light, and pure air creates an atmosphere of perfect harmony, a natural lullaby for body and soul. Each breath comes easier than the last. Each moment flows seamlessly into the next, carrying you deeper into a state of perfect relaxation. Your journey continues as night begins to embrace the sky, but this is a gentle night, full of stars and moonlight, of clouds that glow with soft silver instead of gold. It's a night made for dreams, for peaceful rest in the cradle of the heavens. And as your balloon drifts onward through this tranquil realm, you may find yourself drifting too, into the most peaceful sleep imaginable, cradled in clouds and starlight, perfectly at ease in this journey between earth and sky. Sweet dreams. Good night.